You know, it's crazy how you can be here today and then gone today. We have a neighbor that just passed away a couple of days ago, and she wasn't really mobile. She didn't have a car, and she never really went anywhere. She had a caregiver. Well, she's actually had a few caregivers that have stole from her, wasn't doing the things that they were supposed to do for her as far as cleaning her home and running errands. They weren't even getting her medicine like they were supposed to. And so she ended up getting close to my 22-year-old daughter. And my daughter would check on her a lot. Now, with me and my husband, we'll go over there and visit her as well. But she had a pit bull that was very tall, very big pit bull. And if you knew me, you know that I'm terrified of dogs. And my husband, he don't do dogs like that either, and especially pit bulls. He would tell me all the time, Tasha, do not run from a dog. And like I said, if you know me, you know that I'm running anyways. That's just a natural instinct that I have. I know that I'm going to get ate up. I know that dogs think that when you're running that they feel like or think that you're playing with them. I already know this. I know that dogs sense fear as well. And on top of that, by being a pit bull, I know that that's even triple times worse. But your girl is gonna run. I just know me. Ain't no need to be faking the funk. That's what I'm gonna do. But anyways, we decided to start feeding the dog, or should I say my husband decided to start feeding them. And I used to be like, Earl, where you going? And he was like, I'm going over there to feed that dog. He said, because if the dog ever get loose, then he is not going to eat him up. But yeah, so he was like, I don't have to worry about him biting me or attacking me. And 9 times out of 10, that's what the dog wasn't gonna do. But anyway, he said that if the dog ever got loose, he was gonna come straight over to our house, because that is how close those set of apartments is to us. But my neighbor, she ended up passing away the other day, and she has been talking about it pretty much lately, on how she just feel bad for her dog more than she feel bad for herself. She just afraid that if she don't live long, what is going to happen with her dog. And she told me and Tatiana that she wants her son. Well, basically she said that her dog is going to go to her son, and his name was Slater. And remember I said he's a big dog. He's a big bag, basically. And I used to have videos and pictures of him, because I used to go over there and argue back and forth with that dog. And when I say argue back and forth, because he got so used to us feeding him to where if you didn't have any food for him, he would roll his eyes. So he'd turn his head and didn't want to have anything to do with you. He got so used to my husband and Tatiana to where he noticed their car. So whenever they'll pull up in their car, he'll bark like he done lost his mind, because he's telling them that he want food. And when I would pull up, since I wouldn't go over there as much in the beginning, he'd just look at me. And I'm like, Slater, you ain't gonna bark? He'll just look at me and cut his eyes and walk off. But he ended up eventually barking for me when I would pull up, and I remember teasing him like, I ain't got no food for you, but then I tell him, give me a minute, go in the house, I'll look for some leftovers to give to him. We would all go over there and feed the dog. Now Tatiana would go in and let the dog jump on her and everything, and we told her she was crazy. But for any dog lovers or anybody that own dogs that are watching this video, I know what y'all gonna say. You know, dogs are loving, and you know, they're not gonna harm you as long as you're not mistreating them, even pit bulls. But when you're scared, you are scared. It took us a while to get used to that dog, me and my husband, and we eventually started going into her apartment. Now, I wouldn't let the dog jump on me now. I let him sniff me, so he can get my scent, but it took a real long time for me to do that. And I'll just stand still. And I knew that he could sense my fear. Hi. But the neighbor got so used to Tatiana to where she asked her could she be her caregiver. And Tatiana had already started this job, so she told her that she wouldn't be able to do it. But she went everywhere she possibly could for that woman. The woman trusted her to where she would ask her to go to the ATM and get money off her card and bring it to her. She would always tell Tatiana that I raised her right, because Tatiana always did for that lady. And I know I've been all over the place about this dog, but the reason being is because it ended so sadly. Now, my husband went to take out the trash a couple of days ago, and he came in telling me that he haven't heard Slater bark. And, you know, we thought that was odd, because even the neighbor in the third apartment will call the police on her, because he would tell the cops that whenever he would walk his dog, her dog would be barking at him. Some crazy stuff. You know, he didn't have, you know, everything together up there. And he would call the police on everybody. He'll cuss you out and then call the police on you. But he hated that woman's guts, and he hated that dog too. So when Earl took the trash out the other day and he noticed that Slater wasn't barking, he came in and told me, and I called Tatiana and I told her that she need to check up on Jamie. I said, because Slater isn't barking. And usually when Jamie would go into the hospital, because she would always hurt herself. She broke her rib one time, and back then she gave Tatiana her key and had her to go in every day to feed Slater when she got off work, and to take him to the bathroom at least once a day. And so when I told Tatiana that she needs to call and check up on Jamie, she called her phone and didn't get an answer. So she went over to Jamie's apartment that night and she knocked and didn't get an answer. So yesterday at work, I'm working, and just out of the blue I thought of Jamie. And I said, Tatiana, you still haven't heard from Jamie? And she said, no, ma'am. And I said, you need to call the police station and tell them that they need to do a wellness welfare check or whatever they call it, because it's not like Jamie. It was pretty warm the other day, and Jamie would have either her front door open or her front and back door open so Slater can go back and forth to the bathroom. Now, she has like an apartment so small to where when you open the front door, you're looking right at the back door. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. So I happened to walk back in the break room while Tatiana was on the phone with the police, and they had her on hold. They kept asking what was Jamie's last name, and we didn't know it. So they had Tatiana on hold for a good minute, and when she came back on the phone, she told Tatiana that they actually went and got her body out of the house the morning before. And I just told Tatiana before telling her to call the cops, I said that by the dog not barking, I believe that Jamie has passed away, and that they already went in and got her body, and they got the dog, because that dog would have been barking like crazy. The dog already barks like crazy before anything like this happened. So when the police officer told us, we just couldn't believe it. Although Jamie has been talking about for a while dying. I'm not just sad that she's gone, but what I'm mainly sad about is that she lived a lonely life and she didn't have anybody. And she would be so happy to see us, and she was way more happier to see Tatiana. Tatiana brightened up her day. And we was around Jamie enough to find out that she liked to journal. She ordered 2 journal books, and she said that she was also working on writing a book. And she didn't have cable. And we would take her food every single day. On holidays, we made sure that she ate Christmas food, Thanksgiving dinner, and Tatiana even bought her a gift for Christmas. And she had kids, and she was lonely. She was lonely. I remember when I first met her, my brother came over to visit us, and we wasn't at home, and she came out the door, and she was saying, is it okay for my brother to come over and sit and have a drink with her or smoke? You know, she smoked cigarettes, and I think she smoked a little weed, and she would drink her tequilas. And she came up to me, this when I didn't know her, and she was just newly moving in. And she asked me, was it safe for my brother to come over to her house? And I just looked at her and I said, why would you want my brother to come over? And she said, because she gets lonely sometimes, but she wanted to know, was it safe? And I kind of got on to her, and I was like, I'm not saying my brother would do anything, because I know my brother, he wouldn't do that to no one. But I said, you don't know him, because it could have been any other person. And I told her, I said, you don't do that. You just don't do that. You know, you are a lady by yourself, and you shouldn't want no type of male company, and especially drinking and, you know, things like that. And I think in the beginning, she was a little bit intimidated by me. And I wasn't being mean to her, but I just cared enough for her to tell her to not trust people that you don't know. We got over that. I just told her, I said, I cared about you. That's why, you know, I was fussing a little bit about that. I said, and I didn't know you, but I just knew that's something that you shouldn't do. But anyways, time passed, and you could tell her health started going down, because she started going in and out the hospital. Like every other day or every other few days, an ambulance will come over there and pick her up. But that was later down the line when we all got to know her and we got to be friends with her. And it was just all about her, checking up on her, making sure that she was doing well. And we know that to her, we felt like family, because we was the only family that she had. And like I said, if so many different caregivers coming over there, like she'd have a new caregiver before the month was over. They would steal her money and things like that, and we were the only ones that she could trust. But we was worried about her dog when the cops told us that they took her body out the other day. And although we don't do dogs, we got to know Slater, and we trusted Slater to the point to where we was thinking about bringing him into our home and allowing him to be our dog. Now, me and my husband was wanting to make him a yard dog, but we talked to many other dog owners and said that he wouldn't make it, he wouldn't last if he's been a house dog all his life. So we was thinking about what should we do. So I asked my husband, could we go to the animal shelter and go see him? And I asked Tatiana, did she want to go? So we all decided yesterday, once we got off work, we was going to head towards the animal shelter to go see Slater, because we knew that he was sad and lost without Jamie. Jamie is all he's known. And she said she's had him ever since he was a few months old. We knew so much about Slater to where we knew what not to feed him. We knew Slater couldn't even eat jalapeno peppers. And I'll never forget one time Earl accidentally had a jalapeno pepper in the nachos. And Jamie jumped up so fast and snatched that pepper out of there. That's how we found out. And that's all I could think about yesterday. I know that they were feeding him dog food, but I was still thinking about what Slater could be allergic to. And so we went to the dog pound yesterday. And although I'm afraid of dogs, there was another dog inside of there. So I stood on the outside of the door until they put the leash around him. And so when we went in there, we asked, have they taken the dog in from someone that passed away? And they said, oh yeah, you talking about the lady that passed away in the apartments yesterday? And we said, yeah. And they immediately told us that they put the dog down. They put Slater down. So we just in awe and in shock. And we was just speechless standing there. And they immediately said it's because the family requested it. But see, we knew more about Jamie than they knew. And we knew that that was a lie. And the reason how we also knew it was a lie, because they told us two different stories. And when the guy came in, he started agreeing with the second part of the story. It was like, oh yeah, we couldn't reach anyone, so we blah blah blah. And then, but before that, they said, yeah, the son said da da da. But then they end up telling us that the son is in the halfway house. Well, Jamie didn't even know her son was in the halfway house, because for the last couple of years, he have been lying to his own mom. But to make a long story short, they said they put the dog down. They said somebody paid for the dog to be put down. They're going to cremate Jamie and Slater and put their ashes together. But see, I'm the type of person you can't just tell me anything. I think. And I feel like they went ahead and put Slater down because they was afraid of him. They didn't know that he was a big baby. And although he was big and has a big, strong bark, he looked it threatening. Now, they don't go around this town getting these stray dogs from off the streets. There's a lot of pit bulls all around. They don't get them. But they had a feeling, I guess, that didn't want nobody come and rescue Slater. And a lot of times they keep the dogs in hopes that they can get a home. And I understand that. But at the same time, Slater wasn't even out 72 hours and he was already put down. And we would have only been doing it for the sake of Jamie, although we got used to Slater. That's how much we care for Jamie. And when I say here today and gone today, because that's literally how we are. We are here today and we are gone today. And I'm learning how valuable and how important people are, and that you have so many people that are out here that don't have anyone. And people can be something else, I know. Hurt people hurt people. I've been through trauma as a child, so I know how it is to treat everyone like they're the perpetrator. But I thank God that He delivered me from that. But that's how I've been able to see people as God's creation, and that she was a human being that was sad, that didn't have her kids there for her, because she's been in and out the hospital so many times to where she said her kids didn't even check up on her. And I know the one son that was in the halfway house, but she has other kids as well. And she treated us like we were her family. She treated Tatiana like she was her granddaughter. And in life, I feel like we need that. If we don't need it, then we should be that in someone else's life. We're living in a world full of hurting people, and everybody has a story. We can't be so quick to judge. But you have so many people that live in their own world. So many people that has their own things, don't want to be a blessing to the next person. They feel like if they even think about being a blessing, that they're going to lose everything that they have, when that is not how it works. When you be a blessing to someone else, you will be blessed even more. And just valuing other people is so important, because like I said, you could be here today and gone today. I'm not even with that here today, gone tomorrow thing, because Jamie wasn't even living over there for a full year, and we had grown to be so close to her, to where we was worried about her. And another part that I forgot to mention is my husband just told us yesterday that Jamie came to her door and asked him, could he pray for her? Although he prayed for her and with her that day, he was telling another member about coming over there to witness to her. But she told him that she was sick and that she didn't want to affect anyone. And who's to say how she passed away? Because she did have an oxygen tank. One time she messed around and burned her face up because she had the oxygen tank while trying to light a cigarette. And we fussed at her. And one time she called for Tatiana to try to help her because she was out of breath, and Tatiana had to rush to grab her one of her other oxygen tanks. By her health being so bad, she knew that she was dying. She talked about it all the time. She just told Tatiana that she hoped she lived long enough to see her have kids, but she will also say after that she won't be here long. But people are important. And that's the main thing that I just want to get on here and talk about, because we live in our houses and live our lives and forget that it's other people out here that are struggling, that are hurting. And we supposed to take everything we have to get them to know, but we supposed to love people. And by loving them, the way we love people is by helping them, being there for them. You do have others out there that take advantage of you. If you have any type of discernment in your heart, you will know the difference. But people are hurting. People are dying of a broken heart. It just opens up my eyes and make me really want to be there for people whenever I can. So I know that this video is all over the place, but I hope that it resonates with someone. If you have neighbors, you don't have to be up under them 24/7, but think about them. Be a blessing to them. Take them something. Just be nice. It don't cost nothing to be nice. So I hope this video really helps someone. If you like this video, then be sure to like it. Comment if you feel like it. Subscribe. Share as well. And most importantly, click that bell notification button to where you'll be the first to be notified whenever I upload any type of video. I hope you guys have a blessed one.